Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So hari ni I will do some revision on how to shade region of linear inequalities given. Okay, so before we proceed with questions, so let us have a look at some notes. So tips and tricks to do this one. Okay, so there are actually 4 different types of graph. So the very first one is where you have a horizontal line. So with horizontal line, so for example, if you want to have x greater or equal to, so that's why we have solid line here. So when we want to have greater than, so we will need to shade the region on the right. Okay. Well, if we want to have x less than -3, so we would need to shade the regions on the left. Okay, when we have the horizontal line, which means we have y equals to 4, so this means the y-intercept is 4 here. So when we want to have region y greater than or equal to, so we need to shade region on top. As easy as that. So when we have region shaded below, means our region is y is less than -2. Y less than -2 without equal because we have dotted line here. Okay, next graph, test graph. Okay, when we have positive gradient means the graph is inclined from left to right. So when we want to shade y greater than or equal to, so we shade region on top. Okay, before we proceed to that, I would like you to think what the equation of this line. Okay, let's say the scale is 1:1. So this is 2 and this is 3. Okay, so this one is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we need to find the gradient of this graph. Okay, so our gradient is actually given by m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, simple. Or if you have x-intercept and y-intercept, another simple formula than that is negative. You need to have negative in front, so remember, negative y-intercept over x-intercept over x-intercept. Okay, so for the given graph, as we can see, our y-intercept is positive 3. And our x-intercept is negative 3. Hence, our gradient is 1. Okay. Then, by looking at the graph, we know that our y-intercept is 3. So, our equation is y equals to x plus 3. Okay. There it goes. So, if you want to shade y greater than or equal to, so we need to shade the region on top of it. Okay. So, for the second graph, I've given you the equation. So when we have y less than, so that's why we have dotted line there. So we need to shade the region below. Okay. So that is the whole thing that you need to know. Okay, so now let us look at example from the textbook. So when we have y greater than or equal to, so we are talking about this line, this one. So when we have greater than, so we need to shade the region on top. When we have x greater than or equal to 0, so we are talking about that region, and y less than 0 is below. So when we need to shade the region that satisfies all inequalities, so we need to see which region that overlapping one another. So that is the region that you need to shade. Okay, the second example. Okay, so when we talk about y less than or equal to 2 over 3x plus 4, so they have given you the line already. That's one. So less than is below, x less than 3, that's why you have dotted line there. So it's to the left. And y is greater than or equal to 0 is this line, horizontal line. So the region that satisfies all the inequalities is this trapezium. Simple, right? Alright, so let us look at this example. This is taken from one of the degree trial paper. Okay, so we have y less than or equal to 2x. So normally they would give you only 2. So we already have y equals to 2x given, this one. Y is less than or 7 minus x, this one. And we need to shade y greater than 1. So this is not given. Okay, so when we look at that part, so we need to draw y is greater than 1. So we need to draw that one. But we need to know where y is. So from this equation, we look, the y-intercept is 7. Okay, so we need to know that this one is 7. Hence, we know that the axis is 1:1. So this is 1, 2, 3, and so on. We don't need to number all. Okay. So when we need to have y greater than 1, so the region is here. So this is the line. So why we do dotted line? Because it don't have equal sign. So we need to draw that one. Okay. So now let us look where the region is. So y less than or equal to. So this line less than. So we are talking about the region below. Okay. It is not necessary for you to do the arrow signs. Y less than or equal 7 minus x. So we are talking about the region below as well. Okay, you need to spot where the intersection is. So y greater than 1. So it is over here on top. Alright. So can you spot where the intersection? Alright, so this is this part. So you need to shade this part of the graph. Make sure to shade it properly and nicely. Alright, and that's it. So as it is given 3 marks, so our first K1 is where you draw the line. So this is where you get K1. And when you got the shaded region correct, so that is your next 2 points. As easy as that. Next question. Okay, so for this question you have, as usual, where it's given only 2 lines and you need to have another one. So y less than or equal to x plus 6. So this is the line and the region is less than, so means below this line. Okay, next, x minus 2y less than or equals to 6. So this line is given, but when you want to shade the region, you need to change the part so that it's in gradient form, aka mx plus c. Okay, so firstly, so this is the equation given. So we need to make it as y as the subject. So we need to move x to the right hand side. So it becomes negative x plus 6. Next, okay, now we need to remember once we actually multiply both sides either with negative numbers or you divide both sides by negative numbers, so the sign change. So now, since I want to divide both sides by negative 2y, So our symbol now become greater than or equal to. So becomes x over 2, 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. So that is where the trick of the question is. So we see the y-intercept is now negative 3. So this point is negative 3. It will be easier for you if you know all the points or at least the intersections. So this is 6, as the C is 6. And this one, the x-intercept, if our y is 0, when y is 0, so 0 equals to x over 2 minus 3. So it's 3 equals to x over 2, and we have x equals to 6. So we have the points of 6, 0. Okay, so this is the point 6. Why do I need the point? Because we want to draw the last equation. So the second equation, or the last one, sorry, is x plus y equals to 6. Since I want to draw, so I don't need the inequality. So y equals to negative x plus 6. So we know for sure that y-intercept is 6. So it intercepts here, and the gradient is negative 1. So when we have gradient negative 1, it's actually very sure that our x-intercept is 6. Okay, but if you want to calculate, so we know that the gradient is negative 1. So the formula is negative y-intercept over x-intercept. Okay, why do we use this formula instead of y2 minus y1? Because we don't know any pair of the number or the coordinate of the other one. So that's why we use this one, because we want to find the x-intercept. So y-intercept is 6. Don't forget to have the negative sign in front. And x-intercept, can I just write x here? And we know that our x is 6. Not only x, it's actually x-intercept. It's wrong to do x, it just doesn't make sense. So that's why here. So we can draw the line, make sure you use your ruler properly. You draw the straight line. So we need to have the region y less than negative x plus 6. So the region is actually below the line. So now we can see where all the intersections are. Okay, so just now we need y greater than. So this line is greater here. Okay, so we see the intersection is this part. Simple. Make sure you draw using ruler. Okay, so this is your K1 marks. Here, you don't need to show any calculation. It's just for you to help. And the shaded region is your N2 marks. Then you have 3 marks. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.